Hi, this is Michael Taylor. I'm the author of A New Conversation with Men, and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about Chapter 9, which is spirituality. And spirituality is one of those complicated conversations that we have because there are so many belief systems around God and so much erroneous information, in my opinion, that it's difficult to talk about spirituality without causing a lot of separation and arguments and all of that. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to share a little bit about Chapter 9, in my experience, what spirituality is. And I'll begin by saying that several years ago I went to a seminar and the facilitator challenged us to come up with our own definition of spirituality. He said it's important for you to first of all discover what your truth is about God. But it's also important for you to discover or to understand what your definition of spirituality really is. So what you have to do is write your own definition. And in writing your own definition, you will discover your truth. And so after the seminar, I went home and I thought about it long and hard. And I thought, wow, what is my definition of spirituality? And this is what I came up with. For Michael Taylor, spirituality is the moment-to-moment recognition and acknowledgement of my connection to something greater than myself. I'll say that again. The moment-to-moment recognition and acknowledgement of my connection to something that is greater than myself. And so I came to that understanding after several years of being an atheist and not believing in God, and then going on my own spiritual journey and finding a path that really works for me. And along the way, I came to an amazing decision. And my decision, or my understanding, is that religion as a whole is simply a container that holds God. For example, you have a container called Christianity. You have a container called Buddhism. You have a container called Hinduism. You have a container that's called Judaism. You have a Muslim container. You have all these different containers. But my belief is that the containers all hold the same thing. That thing that they hold is God. And so I believe it's important that you simply find the container that nurtures your spirit. And so what I invite men to recognize is that spirituality is an extremely important part of our life. I'm not encouraging you to go join a church or to be born again or anything like that. I'm simply asking men to develop a spiritual connection that nurtures their spirit. You get to choose which container you drink from. The question is, are you going to be courageous enough to do that? Because sometimes we have to be willing to admit that we may have been drinking from the wrong container. The container of our youth may not be the container of our adulthood that we should be drinking from. And so the question is, are you willing to find out which container you should be drinking from? So in no way do I get preachy or try to get you to go to church, because I believe you can have God without religion. It's just my opinion. But I do know that it is important that we develop a spiritual connection that nurtures our soul.